Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrate to Australia? Maybe you consider to subscribe to our channel and turn on a little bell on the side, so once we have all the updates and news, you may have all the updates in sight instantly. Now obviously this video will include with the special report for this July with the newly financial year, whereby each state and territory will start to announce their policy and requirement criteria for the new year. Now today I've received information from South Australia, but unfortunately it's not about skill migration sector. It's interestingly, they have actually published their BIIP program, which is obviously for the investors and business visa types. So anyway, let's jump in there and have a look what is the detail there. Now you may have you may want to review all the updated criteria issued by the federal government of Australia, which I have done a series of the 1AA visa previously updated from I believe it was last Friday, so you might want to check that out. Now South Australia has provide a blueprint for the BIIP program for the year of 2021 and 22. As you can see here, it's business investment program where we just received the information right now. So I'm gonna take you through and check it out what the requirement is. I've checked also, just before we do that, I've checked with the skilled migrants visa where the updated. There is no update on the occupation list, which basically meant they're not ready yet, but it should come up in the coming days or weeks. Okay, so business investment program 2021 and 22. I'm gonna read through and I will digest it and provide a summary of what it actually meant. So for the new 2021-22 program year, South Australia has removed the 2 steps from application process used the previous 2020 and 21, which is great because those 2 steps were to be honest, my comment on the 2-step previous program, it's just redundant. You really don't need those things. And what are those things? One is to remove of exploratory visit in South Australia. Now obviously, you know, 2020 and 21, there's a pandemic. The Australian government doesn't even allow tourists or travelers to actually enter into Australia. How do you explore South Australia when you cannot even enter? So what they have done is they do a virtual tour, which is, look, to be honest, if you want to start a business, you won't take things in the virtual way, especially if you want to have a business or shop or factory or whatever it is physically in those areas. You want to check it out by yourself. No one at this stage, I mean probably in the future, but at this stage in 2021 will commit to a business virtually by checking out a place or you know, a premises or whatever the goods virtually and accept it. It's just not gonna happen like that, okay? Especially you haven't really been there. There is no trust and confidence of what you see and what you actually can or will touch in the future. So it's good that they remove that, because that's, look, I think what they're trying to do is they're looking to copy what some provinces in Canada does require a business investors to actually physically visit the place in order to, you know, they will accept your investments. But South Australia took that step apart from all the different other states and territories. So they were the first one in Australia to do that. But it's just, you know, look, if we were back in 90s or early 2000s, that's fine. That's fine. But with the technology nowadays and you're doing things like this, it's just really outdated. So removing that, I think it's a great thing. And the other thing is they remove the intention to apply. I mean, look, this is redundant as well. If they want to, if people put in an application, obviously there's an intent there. Why do you need to have an intention to apply before you're putting an application in? I mean, isn't that a duplication and redundant? I mean, if you want to apply, an interested applicant who want to migrate and invest into Australia, they've already showed their intent in approaching their agents, or perhaps, completing their own application. That's all the intent. Why do you need to show another intent before you have the intent already? So removing that, I think that's a great move. Okay, now now who actually designed those things? I have no idea. If you do know, leave your comment right down below. I would like to know that person or that team. Anyway, accordingly, we will be assess the state nomination application for subclass 188 visa products in 4 quarters periods. So that means they are chunking the whole year into 4. I don't know why they do that. So they have that rounds down here. I mean, doesn't that just cover the whole year? So why are they, putting into 4 rounds? I mean, so start from August into September. So that means they only want to accept application between that period, and then they will have a rest for a month, and then they start from October to December, and then obviously they go into Christmas, and then they come back on the 31st of January. And then they work until March, and then they have a rest for another month, and then they come back in early May, and finish in late June. Look, I think it's great that they have a plan, but it's not necessary to have this, because look, if you want to accept, then you just accept them. If you want to rest, you just don't accept them. Anyhow, I think this is redundant as well. See, because they cover the whole year anyway, right? But anyway, that's how government plan ahead. Probably it's more of a managerial internally within the Department of Immigration in South Australia, rather than publishing to the public. I mean, what does that make? That doesn't make any differences, because that covers the whole year anyway. I think it's more of internal management for their team to actually process all the documentation and applications. Now, application assessment timeline may be impacted by the volume received, and will be communicated accordingly throughout the program. So that's what I'm trying to say. If its volume's too big, they will just pause, or they just stop. Okay, no point of having round 1, round 2, up all the way up to round 4 and cover the whole year, right? And I suspect that the quota will be maximized and then used, because obviously due to all the travel restrictions, that will cut down a lot of interest of business investors coming to Australia anyhow, and that's around the world, happening around the world too. Now, application to state nomination subclass 188 business innovation investor significant investor stream will open on Tuesday 20th of July. So this is very important, because that actually giving you the actual date when they open. So if you want to invest and migrate to the state of South Australia, that will be the opening date, so 20th July. Now, why is it Tuesday? I have no idea, but anyway, that's the day. Okay, but application access of subclass 188 entrepreneurial stream will follow in August, so that will not start any sooner. However, I may have come a little bit here, because from what I see in 188 entrepreneurial criteria announced by the federal government, I don't think it's attractive enough. Previously, they do have 132B, which gets you into permanent residency straight away. But obviously, there's a loophole there. A lot of people did not complete what they're supposed to be doing, so they removed the whole 132. But now, they put it into 1AA, where you're required to demonstrate and have that incentive there. But again, it's a big jump, and I think that will cut a lot of interest out of the applications received in the future. With the 2020-21 program now have completed, well, that's pretty obvious, because we are in the new financial year. We'll progressively update information on throughout July All information on the year nomination requirement application process will be available on our website by Tuesday, 20th of July. Okay, I believe the skill migration will come out in on the 11th, which is gonna be either this Sunday or Monday, but I'll have that updated for everybody. Information, make sure you know it will come in the coming weeks. So that's about for the South Australians a BIIP program. They have basically cut them into 4 chunks throughout the year, and they remove the requirement to visit and also the requirement putting into intention to apply. I mean, if you want to apply, obviously you have intention. Why do you have to prove you have intention before you have intention? So again, that's a very good move, but again, there's still a lot of redundancy there. Now, there's no indication of detail yet. For example, if you want to go into 1AA, now, does the South Australia only require to meet the same requirement of what is required from the federal government? Or perhaps they want to add something more. And also about the 1BB, there is no detail of such yet. But anyhow, once we have all that information, that will be on the 20th of July, we'll give you the update for South Australia. So what is your thought? Why don't you leave a comment right down below, and I see you next video. Goodbye.